Welcome back, everybody,
what that is.
to Gringos Liberados. I have outed myself that I can't record a podcast without fidgeting with this specific Microsoft Surface stylus. And we have arrived, everybody, at the week before finals. And we've arrived back in 2023, or whatever it is. We've arrived back at the era of Loud. Long was it forgotten for a whole couple of splits. And now, there they are again, sitting, waiting in grand finals, having clobbered Red out of the upper side of the bracket. My name is Trajan, I'm joined by Rooted and RMC for this episode of Gringos Liberados. And we've got a couple of playoff best of fives to touch on. We have our last three remaining. We have all of our selection for Copa Americas and potential boot camp / first stand contention. It is RED, Canids, Loud, and FURIA. More or less as I think we would have expected. The Los question was kind of becoming more of a question as the split went on. And at the end of the day, when all was said and done, they got to playoffs in first seed and lost both series and left. So I guess we need to kind of think about, where does FURIA land in our estimate here? Like, if we're kind of debriefing their winter split, their cup split, as it were, RMC, what's like the final kind of post-mortem on Los as they've arrived in fourth?
I still think they overperformed my personal expectations. I didn't think that the roster was going to click right from the get-go, so I think having a fourth place finish is pretty solid for them. Obviously, they're going to want to do more now that they've seen the potential that this roster can very quickly unleash. And I think the fixes they need to do are mostly sort of macro or like decision-making sort of issues that they need to solve their mid-game. So I'm expecting them to perform well in the next split, or split one that's upcoming.
Rude?
From my perspective, I think similar to RMC almost. They got exposed for being a best of one team, is what happened in this playoffs.
And they did win the best of one against FURIA. They won game one.
They did win the best of one. They did hella well in game one, and then that was it.
The end of that sentence.
How did they win game one versus Loud in that series? Like they just win the first game.
So Loud almost comebacked them in game one, and arguably kind of threw away their own comeback, having mounted 90% of it in that first game.
So they were best of one Andes, which is a regular season will profit you that, and then you'll get to playoffs and you'll get exposed, which ultimately is what what I know I anticipated happening, and what I fear the Los fans dreaded happening as best as it did. They've shown lots of good stuff. They are in a position now where they can build very easily into split one, into spring, and a lot of their player stocks have gone up. I think realistically what will happen is they will sit in the mid-pack now, and I anticipate them to probably be challenging with maybe Leviathan, maybe a poorly changed VKS, a well-changed VKS, maybe not so, but I do expect Los to drift back to probably the bottom half, but the top of it.
Yeah, I think that for Los, again, it seems like when the game plays out in a certain way, which is just the way they like to play the game, their standard kind of Zest is enabled to 1v1 to his heart's content. Feisty gets out of lane, has a mobile map, like global affecting champion, and Dudu has, if not Corki, then one of the few champs. So I think that you funnel gold into good Dudu, you give Zest room to play out his lane as he wishes, and Feisty enables them across the map. When that works, it works so good. It's so good, and that's what game one was. But we just didn't see it again.
I think on that side, the Zest for me came out looking like maybe the best player from this weekend from Los. I don't think that's a hot take to say for Los. People were saying this guy was bodying people consistently. But he was frequently weak-sided, frequently not given resources, and frequently still making things happen, which is not necessarily easy. He absolutely bodied Gigo game one. In game three of this series as well, he was the large proponent of a gold lead, or at least felt like the only real source of power from Los. And then we got into game four, where we were absolutely lost, and the series kind of crumbled from there. But I do think Zest came out of this looking like somebody who, you know, in the end of this year, if this continues, gets picked up by a bigger team, goes and does something else. You know, this is if he's going to make Brazil his home, absolutely, then we embrace that. But the likely avenue of this is he increases his stock. He was the best player on a middling performing roster in Brazil. I don't know how much that increases your stock in, you know, LC, KCL, LPL, whatever he wants to try and go to. So yeah, I think he did a really good job. He looks great, and interesting to see if he gets any further development from that.
I mean, I feel like top lane is that one role where your solo performance weighs a lot. So if in terms of raising his stock, I think he's done well for now. Again, we'll kind of have to see how it goes. I'm not anticipating Los to make any major changes. If they do, definitely not the imports. And it would probably just be Drake Hero by virtue of Dudu Ackerman being one of the better bot lanes. Like, who are you trading up for at that point? So yeah, I expect this Lowe's roster to kind of stick together. They'll be fine. Yeah, and I think Lowe's is the only team this weekend, I think, that performed as I expected. Let's put that way.
That's fair.
I mean, I would say Furia performed more or less as I expected. I think that I expected them to win. I was very confident they were going to win this series. Like, you know, I don't know if I would have said 3-0. Maybe I would have if I was feeling particularly confident. But ultimately, I think, yeah, like, Los in that game one, as game one Andes as they were, they already showed they could do it to Fury in the regular season, so they kind of did it again, and like, that's fine. So that would have been Los, I think, crumbling in the same way that kind of VKS did if they weren't able to get a single kind of good-looking game, which would have surprised me, and I'm thankful that they didn't do that, because it makes me more hopeful for the next split. That again, Fearless is the real nemesis of Los here this split. It seems like, and I don't know if this is a stylistic thing, it does seem like that they have a certain way of playing, and the comfort champs that through the rest of the main split, like Rumble Top for Zest, Drake Hero Wukong, like there are some picks that just really, Corki for Duty, really work for them, and if they don't have them, the shine really does come off a bit. And we saw it some of the trickier games in regular split, and now once we're past game one and a best of 5, it seems like, I don't know if this is one to lay at the doors of champion pool depth for the players, or stylistic shallowness for the players, or coaching potentially not being able to manage that, or manage the opponents properly. But the best of series really just took the legs off them. But as you say, individual talent definitely present. We've seen every single person on that team step up. I'd be super down for them to keep even Drake Hero just because of what we saw from him in those games in the regular season. And I'm sick of people chopping and changing rosters already in 2026. It's happened far too much already. So let's just leave these guys to build a little bit. I would hope if we can do that, and they'll have a longer regular season, way more best of ones to benefit from in split one. So who knows the heights they could reach.
Is it double round robin in split one?
I think it is back to double round robin.
Yeah. Our format I think is like more beneficial.
Single round robin.
Is it single again?
Yep. It's single. There's just not enough time to double round robin.
Yeah, single round robin. All matches are best of 3. So there you go.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Well, actually, I guess they're screwed then. I guess they're coming last. Oh, well.
I think it's great for Los. Actually, like they need.
If you want to get better,
so. that is the training arc that they need. So yeah, we'll see if they can shown in their way to success in split one. But yeah, I think happy with basically all of them. I love the way that Feisty plays the map when he's comfortable. I like the way he plays team fights. I think this guy is super, super good. And yeah, Dudu's the guy. Dudu's the next great Brazilian AD carry by the look of it. And we'll see where he lands. How
many times have we promised that?
Yeah, well, we haven't shipped off our previous next great Brazilian AD carries yet, but he's the next one. But we haven't like ditched Ayu yet. He's still here, but you know.
Yeah. Besides Natuno, all of them have kind of come to fruition. Yeah, it's only Natuno who kind of bumped out.
It's a very solid bet to be like, oh, this rookie AD carry is doing really well. It's probably the GOAT. I don't know. It's probably GOAT.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
We didn't index too hard into Juliera, Marvin, or Mortez. I mean, Mortez has overperformed. But...
Yeah, we restrained ourselves just enough.
Didn't we? Again, we're going back a couple of years. How did we feel about Brunsey and that whole...
Brunsey delivered, mechanically.
Yeah.
Morally, that's a whole different issue, but mechanically, he delivered.
He did get caught on mid-waves. I remember him losing an entire chat championship because he got caught on a mid-wave. That was good vibes.
He does suffer from mid-wave-itis, which is like
but we can
play with AD carries. But yeah, I think he was, because of what he did internationally with Loud, I think like he got there very quickly, and then it kind of had to scale back a little bit, where on Fluxu and Red, he was a bit of a mid-wave Andy. But You know, so to be
I'm
fair,
curious.
I's been a bit of a midway Vandy in his time as well. Like his
Yeah, like you said, all of them have. Titan's done it too. Like I mean,
Titan's done. He's done everything. Titan's done every possible misplay and great play you could think of. All at once.
So that's why to me, like, if you're talking about Nick's great Brazilian AD carries, like that's the mold of great Brazilian AD carries.
Yeah,
like,
we have to get caught on mid waves first.
Yeah, we needed to start rotating to mid more because that's what this new meta is. You can't rotate to mid as easily because of the way it's structured. So he's protected. Like
so what's somewhere in the FURIA training camp, right? I remember I'm pretty sure it was Brunsey FURIA that lost that, like, epically got caught on mid, maybe lying,
Fluxu,
but
that was.
Fluxu, sorry, it's the
it was him.
it was him. And then I don't know. Well, then my whole point dies is it was going to be a FURIA training camp, get caught on mid waves, and IU's been taught in the ways, but maybe not so much no more.
I mean, I feel like I doesn't get the opportunity to because usually Gigo's the one getting caught.
Yeah, he's already dead.
He's like the easier bait.
He's already dead on top wave, so it's like, well, now I can't even go near him. I think like we had Sayo who is rotating to get caught on midways before he's even got his quest done. So he is like accelerating that timeline just to try and get there ahead of the game. Okay, so we wave a kind of fond farewell to Los, and we'll see them back in Split 1. Hopefully the same as they are, but we shall see how that kind of pans out. And yeah, FURIA, I think we're continuing to they swept aside Leviathan. Terrible stylistic matchup for Leviathan. Great matchup for FURIA, and all of their strengths were firing in the right way. In this win against Los, I think again we saw. I like that they are willing to still kind of tank side Gigo a bit more. Obviously, the game 1 Ornn game did not really pan out. And
whether that Ornn game was it was bad.
Yeah, it was a Gigon game.
Not even in a laning sense. Like, he did fine, but they just missed every maybe he hit like 2 ults. Like, he just wasn't landing his ult, which is the Ornn thing. Like, you can be in the right spot and you can do all the cool things, but if my Malphite ults the wrong way, like, I'm fuming, you know? Like, he doesn't count.
Well,
and that's,
I don't know. I don't like his Scion game either. Like, they won that game, but it's not because Gigo played a good Scion.
Yeah,
it was because Tatu like ran the map early, and then Los had some slightly questionable draft issues, and Gigo's just there for the ride, and that's why I'm not sold on FURIA. This is why I said like none of the teams except for Los performed the way I expected them to. I wanted to see FURIA play cleaner. They didn't. They played sloppier, it felt like, than ever. It's just that their mechanics, like you said, stylistically was really good into Los when they could just outhands Los. But once Los started toting, they lost.
We put Gigo on Jackson Camille. Brother went crazy.
He still lost. He still lost lane.
The Camille was...
like his Camille got bailed out because JKO and Vice struggled more. Yeah, like
but he did do well later on.
The was good.
You know?
Yeah.
Sure, but like the problem with Camille right now is that she's too weak to reliably get to that late game and be a carry. She's usually so far behind that she doesn't hit the stage where she just 1v1s most people.
The plan was assume Los won't win and then we will win, and it worked.
It worked, yeah, but it's not because of Gigo. It's more in spite.
No, I think this is still
Gigo and Tuts.
He did look better though. I like in those situations. I would say like he performed better on the carries than he did on the tanks because he wasn't losing lane on the tanks, but then he did nothing with being a tank in the team fight. He lost lane on the fighters, but then showed up to team fights and was actually better and had more impact, which I'd argue is like a more worthwhile. I'd rather that than the former, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but my issue is I don't think the remaining teams are going to let Gigo get away with that, right? Like, I agree.
You have to get there. You're right. You have to get there, which isn't consistent.
This is one of the things that's caused FURIA so much problems against Red is that FNB has been doing that, but better all split, and has been like actually making a bit of a fool out of Gigo in top lane because very few people can do it, and Gigo can do it to himself, but very few people can do it to him, and FNB is one of the few people that can consistently do it so far. But yeah, I think because like my FURIA performed as I expected because Gigo is still inconsistent, and they're kind of a bit like flashy and sloppy and just kind of steamrolling and getting away with a lot of stuff by the fact that they tend to accrue gold advantages, so they have a buffer of gold to throw on like giving 3 early kills away in every early game. Like that's how FURIA play right now. I'm waiting to see if they can learn to play any different. It doesn't seem like this split it's going to happen. I think we're going to run this. And if it wins, it wins. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's kind of the fear. It might just win. It probably won't. if they don't fix anything, because they'll probably lose to
Well-
Red again, I think. But like,
I don't know. The way Red was playing was
yeah, so the
way
question is,
worse.
I think this is entirely on Red to keep
Yes.
their heads. Now that they've finally been knocked down in that 3-1 against Loud, I think when Red play normal, I think they're kind of doing Furia better than they are, and they're less sloppy, they're less messy, and their floors are a little higher still, except in jungle. So like, I think that that's the tough matchup for Furia, and they're not showing me any more, so I wouldn't necessarily expect them to beat Red. I kind of want them to, but I can't really sit here and go, I think they're definitely going to. I don't see a reason to believe that they necessarily would, except if Red has a bit of a crisis after this Loud series and actually starts playing worse.
Yeah, like the variants on Furia, like I guess my expectations for Furia are still rooted more in last year under ThinkHard. But yeah, you're kind of right, Jordan. Like this split, the cup so far, they've been consistently kind of sloppy with it. Yeah, and with that, just kind of just goes to does Red show up next week in the lower finals, semifinals? Yeah, lower finals. Yeah, and I'm very worried, especially actually for Tuts. Because as much as we're talking about Gigo not performing and like throwing and whatever, like that's just whatever. But Tuts getting caught out on side lanes was like, I actually worried that they were gonna lose games because of the way Tuts was just getting picked on.
He is bleeding gold
and just missed by that
in various ways over the playoffs. He's not as bad as he was still. He's still performing better overall, and he's doing the right things with his champion in kind of a stylistic sense, but his gameplay and his moment to moment is giving a lot of freebies. If it's the Orianna to Talia,
man.
He should be, right? And he understands the hard part, which is how do I use my champ to its best degree as a team comp to make sure that it functions as the draft should. And he's tripping himself on the dying at level 2 to Galio, or the walking into Talia seismic shove 5 times as Orianna. This is the stuff that this should be the given that he's not doing. So it is a weird one for Tuts. I don't know if he's in his own head somehow, but like yeah, we're doing the hard parts but missing the easy ones, which is kind of strange. And it's just all part of the Furia. Here's all of this free value for your enemy team so that the game could be harder than it needs to be. If you just didn't do it, Tatu's going to continue being a monster. Ayu and Jojo are going to continue beating every bot lane silly, and you'd just be ahead. You'd just be 2k gold up with no kills at 15 minutes, like, because that's what they've done in the past. So.
Yeah. And he's playing against, Kaze too, right? Like he's got
so that's the thing.
Deep pockets.
I expect him to get clapped harder by Kaze the last few times, but he actually is one of the better performers against Red in this split. He's the guy who isn't running it down against Red and isn't giving Kaze gold and is trying his best. And it's Gigo that's suffering, and it's it's Ayu and Jojo that aren't getting as much value because Frosty and Rebello are a super strong duo. So he's weird. Tuts is very weird to kind of eye test.
Plays to his opponents. The classic excuse.
Yeah, it's very odd. And that's why it's so hard to ever say if Furia is going to win, because it's always like, well, I kind of feel like they should, but I don't have the confidence to say that they will. And that's like every matchup now with Furia. So,
it's Brazil in a nutshell. So.
Yeah, they are. Red and Furia are Brazil in a nutshell. Let's talk about Red and Loud a little bit. Let's talk about that series, because this was the big one. This was the upper bracket where the expectation mostly would have been for Red to kind of to stroll into the grand finals, having defeated Furia enough times to prove that they were the better team so far. Loud had cheesed their way through Los, but Los were kind of revealed to be a little bit beyond their station, as Furia confirmed. So it was like, okay, they 2-1 them, and they had some messiness, and Los is the 4th best team, so how impressive is that? However, when does the magic stop? When do we stop winning for this Loud team?
The other thing too was the fact that they lost MAGO like 3 days, 2 days, 3 days before.
We should refresh the context of this for anyone who somehow wouldn't know. Is that MAGO stepped away intentionally? He basically said, "I'm not playing no more because this Raze guy is too much of an arsehole for me." Like, they had a terrible relationship, and he was, by the sounds of it, it was like borderline workplace bullying. Is how he presented it, speaking to, I don't remember who he was speaking to, but it was Minerva, maybe? I think it was Minerva. When he was speaking to Minerva about it, like right after this was announced, and then we were all speculating as to what happened, and he basically said, this guy is too much of a prick, and I'm not doing it anymore, and I tapped out and I left. Which is crazy to do from upper bracket finals, but kind of, again, aura for MAGO to just be like, and like, dude, who does this guy think he is? Faker is so cold, is ice cold to be like, my coach thinks he's Faker. Nah, I'm walking out of practice, never to be seen again. It's crazy.
I don't know, I think that's scum behavior. Like, your entire team's relying on you, and you just bailed on them last second like that. I'm not okay with it.
It is something that is kind of unconscionable to do from this position. However, it is also potentially unconscionable, depending on the reality of that situation, to sit in an abusive workplace environment just because other people aren't being abused nearby you and have something to gain. I think to a degree, depending on what exactly was going on here, you have to walk away if it's becoming intolerable for you, if you're actually being, to use the actual word, abused to some degree.
Sure, yeah. I guess I'm not sold that he was being abused. It sounded just more like a difference in ideologies.
And we can't necessarily know either way, because that's not.
And even if you are being abused, I think there are steps that lead up to it. Yeah, and well, we've had Loud's like shots at him basically. But they're not. Yeah. But yeah, nothing on that side. I don't know. It was just such a weird situation. But it did give us playoff envy.
That's true.
Did give us envy.
This is why Envy kept getting extra shots, and everybody's like, "Well, Envy's not that good." And then like, "Well, but you can get him to playoffs
and get him vexed, and then."
Yeah, he didn't even vex this round. I wish he did, but yeah.
No, I know, but that's the story, isn't it?
And it didn't initially, like at the start of this series, I was like, okay, this is kind of looking like a Quartz kind of situation, because Red won the first game 100%. And Envy was just like there, and he was just like doing he's playing mid lane, and he wasn't really affecting that much. And I would argue over a lot of the series, he didn't like explode and dominate Kaze like in a huge way. But he settled in and performed well after the first series. So after the first game, I was like, this is looking like we just found a mid laner lying around, and this is kind of what I would expect to happen. But once we started to settle into the series a bit more, it seems like Loud as a team really works with Envy in the mid lane somehow, because this has always been a weird team dynamic where like sometimes Bull is carrying and sometimes Youngjay's carrying, sometimes Youngjay's 0-7. Like, we don't really know who's going to do well this game, but it seems like we're smoothing the curve out a bit with Envy here, because and part of that kind of fluctuation was, MAGO's 0-7 now, or MAGO's like got gold lead out of lane, but now he's just killed himself, and like he was adding to that variability. But Envy certainly doesn't do that. He does not like complicate it further what is already quite a complicated team, I think, to like.
I'd argue MAGO didn't pressure anybody was the big problem, whereas Envy actually did pressure like Kaze, and more importantly, he locked down Kaze. So like I remember the second game, his Aurora from Envy was huge. Like he was finding picks, going in flanks, solo missions. Like he wasn't playing with the team. He was low-key kind of putting the team in his backpack. And then game 3, the Mel shut down on Ari. Like I knew the matchup was bad. I didn't realize like what Envy was going to do to Kaze, because Kaze played it well, but the solo kill that came out of nowhere was like, what the hell?
Ari, bro. This matchup, especially at pro level,
apparently,
even post change. If anything, post change, I think it's worse for Ari, because you get so much free damage by just tickling them with the Q. You don't have to land most of it. Ari can play from range, but if you just get one bit of it, you get all the damage front loaded on the Q now. And it seems like it's even worse for Ari, because it still reflects the charm, and that's why the matchup really sucks, because Mel can walk at you and you can't do anything to her. So
you have to mind control the enemy.
Yes, you have to mind control
them. That's your best option.
Or get a jungler to freak them out and get them to blow their shield and then come back 20 seconds later before it's off cooldown.
You needed to get somebody to tell Envy that it's regular season, chill. And then
you have to tell this game.
Whisper in his ear.
Yeah. So like
that
I love that we are seeing a bit of just, especially it's always into Ari, bro. We're seeing Mel come out as like this Ari champ that people have been coasting on because they can't think of an interesting champ to play for years. Now we have the anti-Ari button, which is Mel, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah, punish it, any fool who picks it up. But yeah, Loud as a whole, what super impressed me as well was not just the fact that Envy slotted in and did well, but the whole team's clicking early now. They actually have an early game, and I stand by what I said in the beginning of the season. Youngjay has the right instincts as a jungler. The team just didn't play around him properly. Whereas now they're clicking. You can see the ganks from Youngjay. You can see the early pressure he's getting down. It's working so much better. And so they're not waiting until 28 minutes before the team finally goes, okay, if we don't play their jungler, we auto lose the game. Like they're like, okay, now we actually just played the jungler early, and we are now winning the early game. Loud, who's statistically the worst team in the league, they're 8th in the in the playoffs, and that's including the teams that got eliminated. Like, ping. and Flukes in W7M.
They were ninth for early games in an 8-team league. Like they were, they were atrocious. You know.
Yeah, so I'm super impressed. I'm happy. Okoisa, Ruin Volto, they're back. They're monstrous. Do I feel like they're the best team in the league? No, though. I do think that Red lost to them on their own. Like Red trolled, and what trolled them the hardest wasn't even Kaze losing lane. Like that happens. You got to get used to playing that. Their drafts were nightmarish. I after game 1, the drafts steadily got worse and worse and worse to the point where I don't know what we're seeing anymore.
Mm-hmm. But they still won for Loud, right?
I'm talking about red drops.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't know what the hell happened to them. Like even the first draft was kind of iffy. Picking Jin into Sion, I actually thought they had the losing end of the draft, but then they just managed to flip the game anyways. They were losing.
They had Notsunori and Rumble, and they just had a good mid game to play through. And it's a crutch draft that makes it very easy to play, and you can just it's a band-aid, right? But For the second game draft, I don't necessarily have a problem with it because we're diving. It's still strong mid game. It's Kai'Sa Nautilus with Vi, Ahri, and Renekton. We can dive top lane with it. We can dive mid lane. We can play through. We can play together, and you can do the same thing, right? You just dive and you all dive, and you have a strong mid game and you try and win. But so I didn't hate it. What I did hate was their game 4 draft. By that point I was like, okay, I'm done. Yeah. Trying to make sense of it now because we've now gone for MF Poppy bot lane, and we've got an Echo in there mid lane, which was just a Syndra counter, which I think did kind of work as a Syndra counter, but we're really scraping the barrel, and what are we doing together here? What's this?
No, I agree. I think game 3 was the one I hated the most, but game 4 was pretty bad too. So game 2, I'll explain why I didn't like game 2 as much. Game 2 just felt like it was partially a draft and how they executed an issue. The draft itself was fine if they executed properly, but they didn't. And it showed from the beginning had no intention of executing it properly. They didn't give Rebello the resources he need. They didn't really help out FNB, and Chris was just kind of playing around Kaze-ish, but into the Aurora, until year 6, you don't actually have enough of the kill threat to make that happen, but they spent the resources early. It was just a really weird distribution. Game 3, I hated it because you picked Ahri Pantheon into double tanks and Rek'Sai, and you saved counter pick for FNB. Rek'Sai into double tanks. That's really going to do something. That's something that's give out the game. So that to me was the most egregious draft. But I agree with game 4. The reason why I didn't hate game 4 as much was because Loud opted into a very similar thing where they went, okay, you want to pick high damage and just threaten? We'll do the same. We'll just throw hands.
Though. I give Loud a pass because I don't expect them to do anything smarter than that. I don't think they. Unlike Loud,
I'm sorry, you don't trust Coach Faker to draft?
I guess not. I guess who does this guy think he is? Because Loud I think thrives more on individual overperformance and individual moments that
Sure.
As long as if we've got the Sivir Alistar bot lane for Bull and Redbird, I'm cool. I don't care what the rest of your draft is. You slot that into everything with Bull and Redbird, Sivir Alistar bot. Okay, fine.
There was
the rest of it is all skill checking all day, right?
There was sorry, you saying the Sivir Alistar thing, there was a TSM roster with Double Lift and Yellow Star, and they notoriously didn't get along. I remember there was an interview after maybe 2 years later, and one of them said, look, hey man, we didn't get along. We just picked Alistar every game and muted each other. It was beautiful. They didn't actually mute one another, but I think they picked Ezreal Alistar every game.
Yeah.
He double played Ezreal. We had Yellow Star playing Alistar, no comms, and they would just vibe in the bot lane, and that would be it.
Yeah.
And that's the new one, the Alistar Sivir.
Yeah. Because it's for the game 3 draft for Red, when you have you're locking in this Ashe, and I guess for Rude as the local master peaker 80 carry player, are we picking Ashe with Mundo and Cassante on the table still? Does Ashe deal with tanks, or are we deluding ourselves?
Ashe can, she just needs a lot of time, which means that she can't. So that's the short
same way
answer.
that Jin can with enough time.
Not quite in the same way that Jin can, but you can. I mean,
I guess
you need
Red picked the Jin. Red picked the Jin in
up.
game 1 against Sion and got it to work. So I guess in their heads they were we can do it again in game 3 with Ashe against the best late game team in the league. But okay,
Ashe used to be able to kill tanks when she could build a Bork and a Ginsu's Rageblade. I think if we built that on Ashe now, people would have questions, but I genuinely don't think it'd be too bad.
Yeah,
I just don't think people are...
Maybe if they have Mundo or Cassante, we're fine, right? We can do that, but both
of them we need to go Vayne. Dylan, we have to play Vayne.
Yeah. I think that draft in context for sure. Again, I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing, like Ashe ult into Pantheon ult with dive. You're still doing a dive group comp, fine. But the opponent draft is not like off tanks and Leona. It's Mother Kasane frontline.
I feel like you can catch so many people out just by doing that. Like, you see them lock these two champs, and then you just pick actual tanks.
Yeah.
Ban Jinx. Like, what do they even do? Like, ban Jinx Aphelios.
Yeah.
And then they should just win.
I guess. Yeah.
Sivir, but then you can't even Sivir properly into like the Corki Nami bot line. So.
We're watching Sivir FURIA games. So like this Ashe there.
You don't think she would shed through the tanks?
Oh no, she shot through the tanks. I was going to say Sivir sucks early, and then I forgot that she doesn't actually suck early. She just pushes and doesn't interact. Like she pushes 3 waves and wins the lane. Like that's how she plays.
Very cool. Okay, so the drafting for Red, I think like by the end of the series, I don't know what comps they were even drafting, and like the context of the comps.
Misfortune with zero setup
as we went on, which again is not a great sign, because Fearless is definitely here to stay. And then for Loud side, like they're using like good counter picks like the Mel, which I think is just like it's money on the table if you're willing to just like play an incredibly easy champion mid lane and get that value. And they're also they're still willing to go to pull a Kiana jungle out. Yet Young Jay is still able to do carries and tanks. We have Mundos and we have Kianas in the same series. Like we're showing good depth here in a best of 5 because they're so kind of chaotic. I think that it is hard to kind of predict what they're going to do. It's kind of hard to draft against them, and Young Jay was fitting with the team a lot better, and Envy is plugging this weird gap that they've had in the mid lane super well. So this is definitely an improvement, and the carries are still carrying. The strengths are still strong. Shino and Bull are still like really, really solid side lanes right now. So we're talking ourselves to a point where like, okay, so why are they not the best team then? With all of this given, why are they?
Because it's been 1 week that they've done this. Like, and Red was throwing, so
like I would go towards. I would go more towards this is the same thing that I saw in Los, but like on a maybe not the same thing, but like. I just don't think they can do it when the pressure is actually on. You can make it this far, that's fine. And I think that Red and FURIA will do better in an actual lose-go-home game.
I think FURIA
that's my...
for sure. I definitely think about FURIA.
I expect whoever wins the lower final to then win the upper final on Sunday. That is my...
Yeah, it feels like the real
very cold take. Because it's just, and again, this Loud team, maybe this is where, that those expectations do change. And if they win the split, then the expectations absolutely change. For me, Loud are still probably the 4th best team, maybe 3rd. It depends on the VKS changes and whatever that ends up looking like, but that still has stock that I'm going to put some money into. Loud still feel like the 3rd, maybe 4th best team in the league. Behind these 2 teams, absolutely. Maybe behind another one. Unless they win this actual final and they do it. I mean, even if they do it and it's because Red or FURIA throw, I'm then there to give them their flowers. But I think when it actually matters, these players haven't shown it to me that they can do it. And I don't know that necessarily the Red roster have either, but they've got a little bit more in there that suggests that they could do. Like they've got FNB, they've got Frosty. These are players who have done at least something in the past for me to be confident in. And as far as Loud goes, technically we could count Redbert, but I was serial Redbert hater before I left, and coming back he's fine, but like that sour taste is very much in my mouth.
Yeah.
Understandable.
That's my logic. So I apologize to Loud, but that's it.
Yeah, to see if like the Shino and Bull reliable carries, how they deal with a grand finals worth of pressure, as opposed to, because like Shino is still a promoted rookie, Redbert is just he's up and down, bro. Like he's just him. And then Young Jay, is like an emotional player who looks great when he's on and when the team is behind him, and when they start to crack, I think he's the first one to start showing that, just because of the way he plays. It's just going to suffer. So like that pressure might finally start to get to them, or they're gonna keep riding that, and the emotions are gonna run so high they're just never gonna stop, and they're gonna bulldoze it through another best of 5, and then go to first stand, and then we'll see what happens at that point, which will be funny. But
yeah, 4-4 and I were talking about it in the green room about the funniest timeline to us would be Loud actually winning the first stand.
That's the funniest.
And we send Furia Red to the Copas America because
just to dominate the Americans,
just to traumatize North America. Yeah,
this is what
because the LCS is a one-team region. They're a one-team region this year anyway.
There's just C9, and then
they're still like scrambling to develop their other teams now with like Leon and TLs trying to like get their stuff together late in the day. So yeah. So
we'll send our best 2 teams. Yeah. We'll sack first stand. Everyone knows we care more about MSI anyway.
Yeah.
True.
And then we'll send Furia off to MSI again.
It's all about MSI. It's all about Worlds. Everyone knows.
But Brazil's realistic. We're looking at the Americas first, and then we'll worry about international after.
World domination comes in stages, guys. We have to start with the.
Exactly. That said, I share a lot of the similar concerns with Loud. I do think Loud, what they have shown us, and not just last week, but leading up to this, even with MAGO, does make me believe they're a top 2 team, or a top 3 team with top 3 team with a decent mid laner. And Envy kind of proved that. So if Furia beats Red, which is possible because Furia has really high ceilings, and Red did some weird stuff last week, I actually could see Loud winning it all against Furia. Against Red, though, I struggle because the level that Loud showed us last week, we've only seen 1 week of it. And granted, Envy's only been in 1 week. So it's really hard for me to say, like, okay, I can give you that over Red's consistent performance for the last 2 splits. Even last year, split 3, I thought Red was really solid. And they looked really good for most of this split. This level of drafting was the worst I've seen, I think, from them. Like, ever since Soccer took over. I don't know what happened. I'm willing to write that off as just like a 1 week.
So better or worse than the give the opponents all of their best champs in game 1 strat? Are we better from that?
Oh, that was a valid strat. In Fearless, it's a valid strat.
Yeah.
So I'm like, even when Talkers did it, I was willing to give it to him. I was a defender of that. I said that, I think
Talkers, we're on board with sack game 1. Yeah. We're on board with give them everything game 1, and then we'll play a best of 3.
That's what they did in both these series, sack game 1, right? They didn't even give them all their draft picks. So
true. They've been doing it since last year's split 3, right? That was when we were like, okay, why do they keep losing? Well, because they're sacking it. I'm fine with that. That's fine. Viable, good, great. I'm fine with that. But giving them like picking Ashes or anything into like double tanks, not okay. Like picking Misfortune with 0 setup and like Gwen has no home style composition, like that's not okay. And I don't know what happened with that. Like that is not typical Talkers behavior. So I assume if they can patch that, and that should be an easy fix. That should be sitting down and like taking a look at what's playable and actually like drafting properly. And maybe they got caught off guard by MV stepping in, right? Because I don't think MAGO would have ever touched Mel with the central pole.
Yeah.
But
we need more TTB.
Yeah.
That typical Talkers behavior needs to come back.
Yeah, the Mel, like the MV arrival to bring a very different midline dynamic. And I don't think I would necessarily expect anyone to foresee the Akali top in game 4 either. I don't think we've seen that in yonks. Like, and we haven't seen much from Shino. He's not played it before as like the Gwen, the Gwen counter, right? Is like, aha, we have the Akali pick, which is like great choice, right? Inspired, right? Love that. But like that's a tricky one. So Loud were doing some tricky business in the drafting phase for sure. And I think Talkers dropped the ball somewhat. Red dropped the ball somewhat. But I think Loud did come in with some aces up their sleeves and make great use of them as well. So now Red's seen it, right? They know what's possible and they're going to adjust. So we're not blinding Ari again, I hope. So we'll see how that goes. But it's interesting. It's really interesting to be RMC because like I come away from this thinking like Furia's our only hope now. But you're like, if Furia makes it, they're just gonna lose. We're still riding with Red. Like even though they lost, they're going to clean the game up and they're gonna be the only ones who can actually beat them. I just think
when
it's very interesting.
When you say Furia's our only hope, like what's your hope for them, Tree?
Well, there's only 2 hopes. It's Red and Furia is the one that I believe in. So they're my only hope in that sense. Like the only hope is to prevent another Loud dynasty forming. This is what I'm like.
Okay. You know, I am online with you. I do not want another Loud dynasty forming. I am traumatized by that.
We can't go back. We can't go back.
I'd be okay with this roster having a Loud dynasty. I think the problem I really enjoyed the first Loud dynasty, but if they then if they took like a bunch of veteran players, Loud dynastied again, it'd be boring. If they do it with a bunch of new players, a new set of rookies, That's good. That's content. If they then just picked like, if it was, just for example, we came into the split thinking VKS was going to be top 1, maybe top 2 with Furia, right? If it was one of those two teams that came in and just dynastied the year and like the next year as well, that'd be boring. But if it's Los and Loud doing it, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, heck, I'd be okay with Red doing it too, because
yeah, F&B International. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we had.
Should we do quick predicts?
Yes, because now the ultimate question is someone's got to go face them. I think Furia is the only one who can do it. RMC thinks Red's the one who can do it. Who's actually going to be doing it? Who's going to get the chance? So Red versus Furia for the 3rd time. Red beat Furia in all previous settings so far by.
Have not lost to Furia.
Nope, by outperforming them in basically in a very comprehensive way. So far. So now
we came in, I remember it was a one of the games we were thinking, well, like the regular season game, we were saying Red or Furia Light.
Yep.
And then Red dominated.
And Furia.
And then and then we went to the best ofs in round 2, where Red knocked Furia down to the lower bracket with very little difficulty, if my memory serves.
It was the same. Same play runs again.
2-0. Like we'll go again, which means that this time Furia are actually going to win, and they'll have learned from their mistakes. And Red will come in overconfident, and.
How do we go from a 1-0 to 2-0 to not predicting a 3-0? How do we go to
because RMC, you have not manifested the CBLOL enough, okay? What is the pattern will not track. Okay, we need to remember that this is the expectation.
Whenever it looks like something's
will
about
not be
to
met
continue
up to.
happening, that's when it gets
not.
you.
I don't see pain. Second, this is not my CB law. Everything's wrong this year, right? So surely it flips.
There's
I'm
no way
2
it's
for
a
2
3-0
currently.
either way. It can't be. There's no way this is a 3-0. Real? I refuse to believe it.
Okay, so wait, Rude, you're calling for a Furia 3-0.
Oh, no, not for 3-0,
Okay,
sorry. Okay. I mean, maybe that'd be content. But I'm 2 for 2 on predictions. I don't really want to go 2 for 3. Actually, it'd be funny anyway. I'll risk it.
Yeah.
But I actually believed in the other ones. This one I'm definitely just doing for the Vine. And I'll say a Furia 3-0. That's the good vibes.
Okay. I am 0 for 2.
I think Furia probably win this series. That's my genuine one. Is like I would expect them to win this.
Yeah.
I'm 0 for 2.
I think it's 3-2 Furia. I think
3-2?
I think it bangs and it slaps.
You think it's close?
5 games and Furia clutch it out because I think Furia. I trust them more in this setting, in the same way that I trust them more in a grand final over any other team. Because when Furia bombs, they don't do it at the high pressure moments. They do it. They fall over the easy hurdles. They do it first thing in playoffs. When if the formula is broken, it's broken. But the way it works now, they're bigger clutchers. And they're able to, I think they perform up to the level of the challenge rather than down when we're back on regular form. So I think they are going to be, and Red, they are better than last split. Same formula, but it is improving. But ultimately they reached like the limit last split. And I don't know necessarily if we're going to push far enough past it to, because they never had like the Furia, like against Peak Furia matchup in playoffs before. They have been beating them in regular season, but yeah, I think it's very just a feeling that I think Furia has it, and I think Red doesn't quite.
It's based on vibes.
Given how the Loud series went.
Yeah.
Given how the Loud series went, really.
Yeah. Well, I'm on to predictions. My pain bombed out right at the bottom. I did not expect Loud to be there. So let's go 0 for 3. Furia 3-0. I mean, no, not Furia. Red 3-0. Sorry, Red 3-0 Furia. Because I mean, Furia has not grown to me this split at all.
They haven't. No.
Like the Furia we're seeing now is the same Furia we saw at the beginning.
Yes.
Which is
yes. Like
okay. Whereas to me, Red has been growing, and Red 1-0'd you the first time. They 2-0'd you the second time.
Yep.
So logically, they 3-0 you the third time. So I'm gonna go bold and say that my realistic expectation is still a Red win, though. I do think Red is just better. I just don't see a reason why Furia should win. They can randomly clutch up. This is Brazil. They probably will just to troll everybody. But
exclusively you in this instance.
Sure.
No, Trajan and I have predicted them to do this clutching.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fair. So you know what? Actually, they're probably going to screw up now because two of you are expecting them to win.
Why
But
not?
yeah, I just think that my head is overriding everything and saying there's no shot. Like it doesn't make sense for Red to lose this one.
And ultimately, I think we're all agreed that none of us think Loud are going to win the championship or going to win the cup. You kind of all think whoever gets there beats Loud. Yeah.
So I guess how confident are you that that's going to happen?
I'm quite confident because I think Furia is going to win both, and I would favor Furia more now.
So like 3-0, 3-1 confident?
3-1. It's the Furia, as we say, they've not grown. Like we're not. I'm gonna give Loud
they will lose
some
a game
credit here. Like, and you know, I think it's maybe 3-1 Furia in the final probably.
I can see a 10-game weekend quite easily in my future.
Oh, it would be good. Yeah.
Quite easily. Because, like, the thing is that the elephant in the room for me is that I do feel like we've regressed a little bit in terms of consistency. Like, normally I felt like we had a team that was really good that we would send to international. This split, I'm not confident about sending any of these teams. Like previously, I'd been like, okay, I'm happy to send them because they've shown something. I'm not happy to send any of these teams. So I do just think that overall, that consistent nature, not there. So 10 game weekend, super banger on repeat is definitely my call.
I think they all do have flaws that surely, you know, Gen G will expose on the international stage.
I don't know if they've got that in them, to be honest. Gen G, this team.
Overrated.
Yeah. I would love to see Red on the international stage. I think Red can get some surprises. But yeah, I think it's going to be 3-1 Red for me over Loud in the grand finals. But I do think it'll be close, like the individual games.
Yeah.
Again, partially recency bias. We've only seen 1 week of NB, but I do feel like Loud right now is riding a high. And if there is an org who knows how to ride momentum, it ever was Loud. So I am a little bit concerned, and I think the grand finals will be closer than any numbers would tell you. But I do think at the end of the day it will be Red. Or if Furia gets up there, actually, if Furia gets up there, I'm going to take a Loud 3-2 win. If Furia gets up there, if it's Red, I'm going to call it 3-1 for Red.
I like how like opposed we are in what we think is going to happen. Like literally the opposite scenario, basically, depending on what happens. Which is cool. I think it's nice that we have 3 teams where we literally can't really say who's going to win. It's one of them, but I don't know who. And they've all got issues. They're all fun as hell to watch now. Like.
And it goes back to what Rude was saying about inconsistency, right? The teams are performing less consistently than they were in the beginning, so it's really hard to make a very confident call at this point.
It is. Okay, let's touch on Fantasy briefly, going into the final week. And Lunar Day has probably got this one in the bag. And I've managed to RMC and I, we're still together once again, and you've actually closed the gap a bit, and we've gone back up to second and third. Leaped over Paradox and Ray creeping in at 5th there. Acheron, I think, gave up the ghost after the last round. After he went full VKS and then they got knocked out by Lev and then didn't set a roster for the next one. I think he was like, well, that's the end.
Is it possible to pick players who are still not in playoffs? Is that possible, or is that like
it is?
Yep.
Okay.
Acheron because there was one round where I forgot to do my fantasy, and like 4 out of 6 or 5 out of 7, 4 out of 6 of my people were not playing, and I got like a 35-point round. And Luna Day, that was,
and you're still second.
Yeah, that was maybe her best.
What's
round
everyone else doing?
She got like 140 points, and almost everyone got like borked that round because there were some weird results that people didn't expect. That was like the start of the Loud turnaround, I think, that no one really predicted. So. Luna Day
and Trajan got the highest this round too, so like Trajan's been doing really well.
And if I'd gotten like a normal point score of like 100-ish or something, then I would be in spitting distance and be able to take it. But I would have to. Bull is going to have to get like 8 pentakills, and Luna Day's not allowed to pick him. I think for this to work out in my favor.
Okay, well,
which in Luna a 10-game weekend, maybe Bull will get 2 pentakills every game of a 5-game grand finals.
That's 20.
Yeah.
Oh wait, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Luna's probably got this one and will be taking our freshly minted I guess it'll be Queen of Fantasy title. Paradox is only going to have it for a little longer, but we shall see. Anything could happen in the CBLOL, I suppose. Let's take a look at the questions as well to wrap us up here. First one from Fanglione. Do you and this was asked before the weekend because we put this up nice and early. And it says, do you think Envy will perform? I mean, he wasn't that bad. Nah, kind of washed, I think. My last memory of him was that Corky TP, and it was such a sudden change. Maybe with experience, he'd be able to adapt faster, but I'm not sure. So he's certainly adapted well. I think it felt like it did kind of take a game. But after that first game, he was cooking. And they were able to use him to get draft advantages as well, which they couldn't have gotten before, almost certainly. So yeah, I think he's slotted in super well. And like, yeah, as a mid laner who needs to be able to perform against Kaze, great. No notes. Happy.
Yeah, he's been waiting for 2 years for this, man. Yeah. Like he looked like so ready to hop off that bench and just overperformed massively.
The last
it was
time
beautiful
we'd
to watch.
seen him was on Red in Div 1.
Is it Los roster?
Los. Yes.
Yeah,
the last time we saw him. Did he make playoffs in that Los roster? I think he did, right?
No, wasn't that the Los roster like that Grandpa was on and everything was like falling apart? Like
Grand Finals Los?
10th place one? No, like the one that was falling apart, like did last with the Grandpa.
Yeah.
RTT. Gabby, super clever.
Yes, that was him.
Yeah. The one that everybody wants to forget.
The last time we saw him...
Where the Corky TP happened, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
The last time we saw him in playoffs was on Red, and I think they came like 4th, maybe? Maybe not even that.
Oh, they made playoffs the split before Los. That Los roster made playoffs the split before, and then bombed out immediately.
I'm shocked. Yeah. So it's been a while since he's been anywhere near a grand final. And even on like Red rosters that I think was supposed to be kind of theoretically top 3, I think certainly, because these were like Titan Red rosters.
That was Titan Frosty, man. That was it. Yeah.
So it has been a long time for him. He is one of our oldest active playing. He's 27 and has been since the formation of kind of the CBLOL and its modern iteration, like 2017 to now, coming up for 10 years of CBLOL play. And he's back in the grand finals again, out of left field. So props to him. And we'll see if anyone can now that they've had a week to look at it and another week to think about it more, we'll see if they can anyone can try to leverage it a little better than before.
Yeah, but to be fair, I don't think most people expected MV to perform. I think most were expecting a Quats-esque situation. So.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And Lunar Day asks, since RMC mentioned it, can we hear your opinions on which jungle camp would taste the best? Does clarify that eating scuttle crabs is illegal and punishable by death.
No, it's not. Scuttle crabs taste great.
they do get chomped in every game on cooldown by junglers. So
why do you think Blabber caps this crabs that are? Rose eating good.
Prime seafood. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, I think the bottom of the list is Krugs. Just to put that out there, early doors. We are.
I mean, not Blue Buff. I thought
Krugs
Blue Buff would be
followed
bottom.
closely by Blue Buff.
Blue buff, like the blue bit of Blue Buff, might be nice. You know,
it's like sauce.
True.
It might taste.
Whereas the Krugs is just pure rock. Which I'm not too keen on.
No.
I'm gonna go like Ocean Drake. You know?
Yeah.
It's moist.
Okay.
It's got some good flavors. Like all dragon, like in my head, dragon must taste nice. Like it just must. If you can get, you probably have to slow cook it. You have to have to slow cook it because it's probably very tough. But like, surely dragon is probably very nice to eat. You know?
Yeah.
I think of like the basic camps, it's just raptors, and that's
I think raptors
because they're chickens
pretty easily.
Yeah.
Because the other ones, I mean,
wrong.
What a frog?
Frog's legs, bro. Think of how big his legs are, dude.
In my head, it's poisonous. It'll kill me.
And yeah,
no, he doesn't put poison.
And Grom's legs, for anyone who's had frog's legs, they're mid. I'll be honest.
You just didn't have it at a good spot, man.
I had it in Paris, France. What do you want from me?
When I had it in France, it was really just super tender chicken. It was so good.
I think it's just worse than chicken. I think it does kind of taste like chicken. I think I'd rather have chicken than frogs.
Guys, get me out here. I'm talking about food with 2 Brits. Get me out of here.
Dude. Okay, NA. Right, keep your food takes to yourself, brother man.
I was born in Southeast Asia. I grew up there. I know what good spicing tastes like. We have frog legs over there too.
Yeah. Okay. So, are you saying frog's legs are better than chicken?
Kinda, yeah. Like, yeah.
That's such a crazy take to me. It's your take.
I am going to say that, but I will also say that I do think that not everybody loves there's a little bit of a fishy taste with frog's legs, so not everybody's going to love it more than chicken. But
and to be clear,
also the majority we're eating. Go on, you go.
Because they're raptors, it's probably more likely to be red meat. It's probably more like duck than chicken by the composition of the bird-like thing. And I actually think duck's better. So. Yeah,
true, I agree. I like duck better than frog. Yeah.
The thing that we're not considering here is that the majority of Gromp is belly, and I have never once been told frog belly tastes amazing. Like I just look frog's legs. He's got like decent like behind like the back legs.
Jumpers, yeah.
He's got some good quads on him, but not like mega quads that we'd look for.
Yeah.
And it is majority frog belly that we'd be then eating, which to me,
he's like all belly,
not the juice.
And,
I'm actually thinking about that, and like they joke that Chinese people eat anything, but I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever actually come across frog belly even in Chinese cooking.
Yeah, and if we're gonna, you can pull out, the Southeast Asian heritage. We can at least agree that duck rules. Like we can disagree over frogs.
That's
the duck rules. That's
right.
Yeah. For what the British people call a Chinese takeaway, they still landed on duck and managed to pretty decent.
We still managed to find ducks and cook them pretty well. So. Okay.
We should take RMC to an English Chinese restaurant at some point and just watch him bawl his eyes out.
The joke was when I was in London, I went to, was it Soho? Like, I guess that's Chinatown, isn't it? So like the Chinese food there was like not far off from like actual Chinese food. I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
But you went to Chinatown. You've not been to white suburbia and then had a chicken chow mein from a Chinese restaurant. That's the true experience.
I have had curry on chips near the Globe. And that curry did not feel like Indian. Like,
I disavow.
Not right. Yeah.
Curry on chips, bro. I mean, like
Shakespeare
Red Buff is a tree beast, so boiling bar.
And for vegetarians,
it's for the vegetarians.
You can maybe make tea out of him somehow, but and that might be okay. But I think Baron
wolves, that's what we're missing.
Yeah, wolves are. So I guess. I mean, I've never had anything canine, so I couldn't say what the meat's like.
Yeah,
but I think I'd
probably really gamey. I'd expect.
Yeah, I'd rank it
probably
lower.
better than
they're kind of scrawny, low key. The wolves, so
they are.
They're not well fed.
Better than pure rock. Probably not better than
eating
any of the other meats we've got on option.
And like
we don't know that those aren't like salt rocks. They could be really salty.
They could be salt rocks. I'm still not getting through it.
I'm not like a licking salt guy. Anya, my wife, would eat salt rocks for fun. She snacks on crystal salt for fun. But it couldn't be me, sadly.
Pop rocks. You do pop when you hit them hard enough.
Explode when you hit them. Yeah. That's true. And then
any 4 and 2 smaller ones, or
the Baron's like it's kind of reptilian, I guess. So it's like I've not had.
It looks toxic. That one looks poisonous.
It is purple.
That would
That's
poison
like
me,
nature's warning sign kind of color
it's
scheme.
like void.
Probably don't. That's probably not good for you. There's a lot of like chitin as well that is just basically rock again.
Lots of what?
Chitin,
like the shell,
like shell of bug.
I'm learning.
CHITIN.
Is that how it? Oh, I definitely thought that was said a different way.
Chitin.
That's a RuneScape moment right there.
Give me some toast.
Yeah, some lovely chitin. There's a boss in RuneScape that has the word.
I was gonna say
chitin.
I know, like you play RuneScape. I know you've seen this word for sure.
But I just thought it was said chitin, and I'm like, oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's like fish and chittens, right?
Yeah, fish and chittens.
Yeah. We love that.
Curry sauce.
What's there's another word that's chitterlings is what I was thinking of.
Chillings?
Chitterlings?
So what? Huh?
Preschool cheerleaders? I have no idea what this is.
Chitterlings. It's like the innards. It's a UK term. Damn it.
Chitterlings.
We'd call them innards. Yeah,
or
chitterlings.
Chitlins. We'd call it chitlins is maybe the thing I've heard before. And I think that's like the Americanized one is chitlins. Maybe I've heard that from like a US.
Is it America? I thought that was...
I think it's like Southern US, isn't it? Chitlins?
Oh, maybe. Oops. I thought it was UK. My bad.
Yeah, I think it's like a...
We call them gibbon or like gibbets or something. It begins with a G.
The giblets. Giblets. Yeah.
Giblets, there we go. Yeah.
We have a sillier name.
We're being educated right now how to pronounce all these terms that we read.
You, Canadian.
Yeah. Oh, Trader's educating us.
Okay.
Let's call them giblets.
Yeah. So I think Raptors is probably the Raptors or Gromp if you're a Frog Legs fan, right? Frog Legs fans,
Sure.
go nuts. And he's got some chubby legs. You've got a lot of meat on those bones. You got more meat you get on the average Frog Legs, to be fair. So that's good value. And Baron's probably poisonous, and we'd probably eat the crab. I'll be honest, crab's good. So unfortunate. We'd risk the wrath of the law and we'd eat the crab.
Just come down to the Nexus. Don't worry. We minions are eating it all the time. Like it's good.
Exactly.
Never check
Okay.
it.
That's going to wrap us up for this episode. Thank you, everybody. And we have one more week of the CBLOL Cup to go. Losers or lower and grand finals. Furia versus Red on Saturday. And then the winner versus Loud on Sunday. Same time usual play CBLOL English on Twitch. CBLOL_English on socials. And you can join our community Discord. If you really want to jump into the Fantasy League for the final week, you're allowed to do that. No one can stop you. Otherwise, we will be continuing to run it in the future, chatting about the league, and then we'll be obviously talking through Copa Americas. First stand, we'll still be following those teams as close as we can, so there will be plenty more CBLOL League of Legends content to get your teeth stuck into for us coming out. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you this weekend for the CBLOL Cup Finals.